Is that Liquid style? You think they'd go for a Night Stalker here?
No, definitely not.
Okay. Yeah, they're gonna go in for the Crystal Maiden, so again, just picking it up. It's a pretty common support. Liquid are running it a ton, picking it up for both GH God and Kuroki, so not sure who's gonna be getting to play it this time, but the Doom pickup here, that's a guy we don't see much of in the scene these days.
Definitely not the most common hero, but
Oh
Liquid
man,
were running
Rick,
it
there's only
yesterday
10 seconds
online,
left to pick a hero!
playing the offlane Doom Ring, getting really tanky.
5 seconds, Morty. It'll be
he's
fine.
a hero that create a lot of pressure once he gets his levels into Scorched Earth. Very good at diving, very tanky, does a lot of damage.
Radiant
and
team
comes
ban!
Abaddon again. Actually is a fantastic Abaddon counter once you get Aghanim Scepter on cancels his ult.
Oh,
and
dire team ban!
Can't do anything.
Yeah, we saw, you know, Bulba playing pretty well on the Abaddon because he could just go in, got that blade mail, he could sponge up a ton of damage, pop his ult, and, you know, kind of shield his team from that. But like you mentioned, when Doom actually
Rick, there's only 10
gets that
seconds left
ag,
to
they
pick a
can just
hero!
take Abaddon right out of these fights. So something DC
5
has to
seconds,
deal
Morty.
with.
It'll be fine.
Obviously, they'll have a pretty big window before Doom is going to be able to farm up that ags to get the most out of their ABBA, and we'll see what DC can do. Do they have to go for more of a fast-paced, high-octane strat this time, or can they play slow and steady?
Well, they definitely have options to do both right now. The
Radiant
Abaddon
team ban!
enables them to group up, take some towers, but he's also very, very strong in the he still has options to itemize around the Doom Ring if he does get extremely farmed in Doom. He doesn't necessarily want to rush the Aghanims right away. He still wants a lot of other smaller team items or decide to build
Dire
that.
team ban!
See ban on the Nagasaran and the Terrorblade, two big late game cores that we like to pick up.
Radiant team pick!
Yeah, DC are just saying no pushing. No one's going to be doing any sort of pushing going on, but Liquid, they'll find a way around that here. Probably going to be showing a little bit more what they're doing, a little more of their strategy. Still yet to pick up their mid, their core, their other offlaner, or their other support rather. So
yeah,
we'll see.
5 seconds left now.
Other heroes still in the mix. I know GH likes to play himself a Sand King. Potentially could be good at gap closing, but they're going to go back in Earthshaker.
Come on, Dire team,
going to be given a lot of love here. That's probably going to be GH's hero, and we will have Kuroki on the CM.
Radiant
Picking
team
up that
pick!
Shaker again, just like last game, and DC responds to the Vengeful Spirit. Pretty good hero for grouping this high outcome spec.
Go, Dire team! Pick him
that
up!
was
pick him
DC's last ban against Liquid last game, but this time they're not going to wait for last pick. They're going to go straight in and grab their Spectre now. So how's that going to set the pace of the game?
Well, DC are...
Oh man, Rick, there's only 10 seconds left to pick a hero!
Like a very push-heavy team. Abaddon decides to go for
5 seconds left now.
Last game.
Shadow
Fiend. Lots of sword press. Yep.
Woo, Radiant team ban!
Be a very, very push-heavy lineup from DC. And I don't think Team Liquid quite have the tools to that just yet.
Liquid gonna be a little bit more slower paced, again with the off-lane Doom, with the safe lane Spectre. They just kind of want to take their time and farm up Earthshaker needs his blink before he's gonna have a huge impact. So I feel like the first couple levels of this game, or you know, the first 10-15 minutes are gonna be DC trying to get active, trying to move, trying to push out lanes, take towers, go for smoke ganks, and Liquid just want to apply the brake pedal and farm for as long as possible.
Yeah, I think DC are going for, even before they saw the Spectre,
Oh, Dire
it
team
kind of
ban!
like plays into what they were already going to, you know, this is like their default playstyle. They have this strong 5-man team that's very capable of taking these early engagements, taking these towers, and Team Liquid picks Spectre, one of the better late game heroes.
Rick, there's only 10 seconds left to pick a hero!
Spectre is a hero that cannot just AFK farm already.
Yeah,
So you have to be able
5
to
seconds
fight,
left now.
be able to get these haunt kills and get involved in these team fights, because once the push comes from DC,
Well, what do you know?
not
It's
going to be
reserve time.
Not at all. Team Liquid are going to either need to be able to take the engagement or split push, and they don't have the highest tower damage heroes right now. When the split push does come out, if that is their response to it, they're not going to be able to trade as effectively as DC. They have massive amounts of physical damage. Abaddon get attack speed to your entire team as well. Vengeance with Shadow Fiend, already very high physical damage. I actually have no idea if you want to play here with Miracle. Maybe they'll go back for something like the Ember Spirit, but it's not very good into the Abaddon and Shadow Fiend. This looks pretty worrisome, actually.
Yeah, there's still the option to go back in for the Invoker.
Pick him up! Pick him out!
Again, that has its limits. That has, you know, a time frame where it needs to come online. And late game, it's a beast. And if Team Liquid can actually push this out to 40-45 minutes, Spectre is going to be a big problem. Doom is going to be larger than life. but it's going to take time to get there. And DC, they're going to get active very early. Hopefully Abed can just start out strong with the Shadow Fiend and carry his team like we've seen before. So Vengeful Spirit, is that going to be our secondary support or the core here, you think?
I imagine it's more core, but I could be wrong. They might decide that, hey, take something else to help secure a bit of a late game, because early game looks pretty good right now. But we'll have to see. Spectre, very, very good against Monkey King. He can find him in the tree, go on him right away, and try to kill him off really quickly. Yeah, Team Liquid, they're going to have to find some way to fight, way to take these team fights.
Yeah, I mean, do they have to sit... how can the Spectre get online faster? Like, we've seen kind of people departing from that Radiance build going into the Vanguard Diffusal build to get Spectre up and mobile right at level 6 when she has the Haunt, but it's still really tricky to get her active, especially when DC are going to be jumping around. Monkey King could probably start things off and get some good initiations on her. Abaddon should be giving her a little bit of a problem there, just constantly chasing her down and popping shields, and wow.
Come on,
DC go into it. What would be that core bench?
Core bench with this Witch Doctors more sustained to help their push.
They are going to be
the Witch
pushing
Doctor
so quickly.
It's going to come pretty quick, and that Witch Doctor, very, very good at dealing with all this outspam and the Spectre.
Oh man, Rick, there's only 10 seconds left to pick a hero!
I think Team Liquid, they aren't going to be able to delay the push by outspamming them. They're going to need something to help take the fight, because there's just so much sustained from the team.
Hey Morty, guess what time it is? I don't know, Rick, what is it? It's reserve time!
Does an Invoker work here, or is that a little too passive?
It still falls into the same category a lot of time. So it's probably not something that they'll want to go for. You never know. Maybe they feel like they can get away from it. They actually did have an Invoker with the Doom and Spectre Tricore yesterday. Possibility.
What about something real nasty? Okay. I was gonna say Viper, but Tinker works as well. I mean, I guess that's a little bit of split push, so when DC are all wadded together chasing someone down, Tinker can eventually go off and do his own thing in another lane. Also, can be a pretty good fighter if he gets up that Aghanim Scepter. Getting that blind out onto all of DC's very right-click heavy heroes is going to be nasty, but I'm liking DC's draft just a little bit more. It seems more straightforward to execute.
Yeah, it's very clear what they want to do. Team Liquid, though, their team fight is not weak at all. Doombringer can get very tanky fairly quick in the game. Spectre's Haunt gives you so much info. One of the very few spells left in Dota. A lot of the time when they nerf the heroes, like when they nerf Mirana, Arrow gives less vision, Orb gives less vision, all these spells start to lose vision.
Oh man, Rick, there's only 10 seconds left to pick a hero!
And Spectre is one of the heroes that's
5 seconds, Morty. It'll be fine.
And it's so important to play these fights because it lets you cast your spells better, it lets you position better, it lets you know where your key targets that you can actually go on and kill. But Tinker is definitely going to have to put in quite a bit of work this game with a very skilled player himself, so time to see. I think if no matter what, very good team, they can definitely pull it off.
Yep, not going to be an easy one, not necessarily like these 5 nonsense heroes. This is a pretty cohesive draft coming out of both sides, but yeah, it's going to be a matter of can DC get that early momentum they need to start their push off. Can they get a couple of really nice early kills, early ganks? Demon smoked up, just going to run right into GH here, so yep, this is it. Again, game number 2 in a best of 3 between DC, the former Onyx, and Liquid here. This is going to be determining seeding. All teams want to be getting that gold seed, that top slot, as we move on to the main event. So, yeah, this could be a 2-0 for Team DC. Do you think Liquid can take one, or do you think this is just going to be a difference in skill?
I mean, it's still anyone's game. But we can see, like, the drafts are so different. They're kind of like opposites. You know, one team wants to play this extreme late game, and the other team wants to really group up and push, but their late game also isn't bad. Shadow Fiend, Vengeful isn't even the
Morty, don't look now, but battle's about to start! Oh my god, no! I ain't ready for this! I didn't do this!
Offer more power at different stages of the game, right? Instead of lots of physical damage, can hit these buildings pretty early on, wave clear, and Team Liquid just need to they need to find a way to be able to take these fights for when DC come to their towers, because if they concede everything, that opens up Roshan for Team DC, and of course their lineup is extremely good at that too, like the high physical damage, minus armor, bad attack speed. That's when it kind of gets out of hand.
Who's blowing that stupid horn?
Alright, so game starting off, just a 1-1 split with the runes, nothing too fancy. GH poking around, pops down some vision here, just gonna be keeping eyes on the shrine. Quick pause coming out. Hopefully DC aren't having any more lag issues or Liquid aren't taking their place, but everyone getting set up here. In terms of lanes, what are gonna be the ones to keep your eyes on? What's gonna be the most challenging lanes to execute?
I think that Team Liquid, they definitely want to secure their safe lane, but DC do happen to rotate down Witch Doctor or Monkey King. It can get out of hand pretty quickly, so we'll just have to see how they manage that. I imagine Monkey King's gonna sit in the safe lane for now. He's a nice tree. He's gonna zone out Doom, make him jungle a bit, and then maybe level at like 3 or 4 minutes he'll probably go down to the bottom lane. As we can see, Witch Doctor starting in the off lane with Harry Potter.
Yep.
Yeah,
I mean,
the mid lane is actually very Tinker favored. Shadow. Especially nowadays, people don't really go for these early March levels because the jungle is a bit more split out, so they focus a bit more on laning.
It's definitely going to be difficult for Shadow Fiend to get in there and avoid harass and actually get his souls stacked up, so it might be a bit of a slower start for Abed, but we've definitely seen him come back from crippling starts and turn into this godlike beast, so can't tap him out no matter what kind of laning start he gets. Down in this bottom lane, like we talked about, Witch Doctor just keeping his levels soaked up, Bulba sponging a little bit of damage, but with GH and Kuroki here splitting the XP to the Spectre, it's going to be a while till he'll manage to get those levels up. Fisher flips onto both, but again, Witch Doctor and Abba aren't too concerned with that. Back towards the mid, Abed is going to be eating up a Tango, getting himself back to health, and still struggling to get some souls for himself. Finally finds one.
Not an easy match for sure. So, DC, they're doing pretty well in this offlane here. Liquid are spending a lot of time trying to zone out the Witch Doctor. If they can ever catch Witch Doctor, he will die. He's not tanky like his bad friend. But Humba Man is still farming pretty well in lane. It's not total free farm like Mason has in the safe lane, but it's still pretty good. Spectre, you definitely expect this hero to get kind of shut down. It's pretty abusable in the early parts of the game.
Abed will taunt out as he makes up to his high ground. And yeah, talking a bit about the offlane, we do have Mind Control, which is going to be spending most of his time in this jungly area, maybe poking his head into lane. But Mason on the Venge, getting a lot of free farm. This'll come in handy. You know, for Liquid, what do they have to watch out for? What's Venge's threshold going to be where they might say, you know, we have to gank this Venge. This Venge is getting out of control.
Well, it'll never be that. It'll always be we need to secure our Spectre some way, but in order to do that, they'll have to go up to the Venge lane, probably. Venge is pretty in control of this lane. She's going to get her early items and be really hard for her to get. Liquid are just going to entirely focus on Spectre's lane, trying to give her the best possible lane setup he can get, but it's going to prove extremely difficult once you see get their levels up and they start to go. As I say that, Bulba.
Yep, he's getting low, trapped on one side of the fissure. I want to keep an eye on the Doom as well. He's getting low in the jungle, but Bulba, yeah, one more hit. It will be first blood going the way of GH, and Primal Spring comes down as Dubu actually abandons his chase onto the Doom. TP's down bottom, just trying to hold this, but he's going to be soaking up a little bit of free experience as Bulba's now going to TP back in, but that's getting Spectre some good XP for herself. Ticks over to her level 3, but things going alright in that bottom lane for Liquid.
That's definitely what they need to take control of this. They need to keep pushing Batten out and keep killing him, but now you see a rotated and they've got their tri-lane here to kind of mess with the Spectre.
Yep, Monkey King gonna take this slow and steady. Has his level 3 just from soaking experience after that Doom in the jungle. Keeping things annoying and pesky, and now mid lane there is going to be a rotation forward. They got the Witch Doctor in the area, so maybe if Miracle pushes up real far could fall victim to the task, but for now, Abed content to finally get some last hits. Only 7 to his name compared to the Tinker's 15. Miracle definitely having a very fun time as Tinker.
Yeah, Mind Control is kind of taking back control over this top lane. He's got the excellent Satyr creep there, and he can actually lane just fine at 18 CS. Very well.
There's going to be a smoke gank of these 2 supports coming in towards the top. We'll see if this is going to be fruitful here, as again, Doom, even at only level 4, is still pretty hard to kill. We're going to be moving forward. They start things off with the Venge stun. They got the Wave of Terror as well, cutting through his armor, and now they just got to keep him in place. Putting more damage spells, but the right clicks are going to be enough. Meanwhile, Yep, that's all they need. Down bottom. Nova potentially going to go down here again. Is only level 3. Fissure traps him back. Crystal Maiden coming in from the back looking for the frostbite, but is going to have to retreat as he's taken too many tower shots. So it looks like Bulba might get off with a warning this time. Or not, as Crystal Maiden runs right back in. They go for the Nova. They get the frostbite off. Now there will be a TP in from the Wolf Doctor. They want to try to hold this. Fissure comes in, clips onto both, and Bulba's going to be able to chase back the heroes for now.
Really trying hard to keep this back and check down. A nice TP and saves pretty much. The Omni's off to quite the rocky start. Tinker, not a fun matchup as you said earlier. And it just gets worse and worse as levels get up on the Tinker. I mean, he pretty much will want to head out into the jungle. And once that happens, DC might lose some pressure in their off. Duke is actually level 4 right now. Very high.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack!
Yeah, he's been hanging around. He really kept on top of the Doom when the Doom was firing the jungle. This is where he got a lot of his experience. Doom, about 5.5 now, getting pretty close to that level 6. Can Mind Control go for a solo kill when he picks that up, or is it not really powerful enough?
Probably not.
Yeah, Boundless Strike comes in, Jingu Mastery's up, and one more hit means Mesa secures his first heal in the game.